Hi, everyone. Welcome to Skin School. Today with my dear friend, Dr. Will Cole, who is a functional medical doctor and is helping me a lot, is helping a lot of my friends. And he wrote a book on intermittent fasting, which is a bestseller. He knows so much about it, nutrition, not just nutrition, but your entire system, inflammation. We share the same philosophy. Welcome, Dr. Will Cole. Thank you for joining us today. I always love chatting with you, whether it's on the podcast or, on my podcast or on Skin School or Masterclass, whatever it is. We always have like interesting things to talk about.
Thanks for having me, my friend. Like we need to hang out. It takes amazing events like Skin School for us to hang out. Sometimes we're too busy, but take any opportunity to hang out with you. So
I know, same. I always love to talk science, medicine, and everything, which is like, important for longevity. And since so many people are interested in how to prevent from getting sick, so nobody wants to become a patient. That's the new goal. Everybody wants to be healthy, do the best they can to prevent from getting sick. This is where also the anti-inflammatory lifestyle goes towards, but also everything you're doing. And there are so many new methods. Also, I find biohacking quite interesting. I'm looking into methylation processes. We can do a lot of things. Exosomes, very, very big for us. So we just, have our exosomatic serum. I have exosome, IV drips. It's just a lot there. Epigenetics, all this new longevity stuff, which is really, really cool. And, everybody should look into it. Besides, the simplicity of things like earthing, light, breathing, most of us, they're just breathing in the upper part of your lungs, which makes it very, hard to get, our body's alkaline, because it's mostly CO2, what gets into our lungs, whereas we need oxygen more than anything. So if we just have like breathing techniques in the morning where we get fresh air into our lungs, we can alkalize our body very easily and switch the CO2 to the oxygen. I don't know, there's so much to talk about, but Will, maybe you want to start diving into what you think are the newest and most important things when it comes to health and longevity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that it should be a blend of both. I think we can use the latest science and advancements to support longevity, to support health span as well as lifespan, but also a lot of research is really catching up with antiquity. That you mentioned breath work, or there's research coming out of Japan and South Korea. The Japanese term is Shinrin-yoku, which translates to English as forest bathing. And it's using nature as a medicine. And there's research showing the mechanisms of breathing the microbiome of nature and how it modulates the nervous system and the immune system and the endocrine system in a positive way, improving mood, improving hormone health, improving microbiome and immune health, lowering stress hormones. Look, we know the mechanisms for all of these things, like grounding and forest bathing or breath work, or we'll talk about fasting. Our ancestors would have just called it life. They didn't have randomized control trials. They didn't know the mechanisms of actions. They just saw through observation, which ultimately is what science is. They saw anecdotally how these things benefited us. And we somehow over time forgot it. And we have this sort of height of hubris that we are so sophisticated today, but it's a lot of science is just allowing us to remember things that was always there, that was always a part of our life as a species. So it's cool to see. And look, for us science nerds, keep it coming. I want to see the mechanisms of action, but I think it's being okay with just looking at things that humans would have done, because a lot of researchers are looking at what they call an epigenetic genetic mismatch, that our genetics haven't changed in 10,000 years, but yet so much has changed, like the foods we eat, like environmental toxins, like stress levels, like the human microbiome and soil microbiome, that it's this evolutionary mismatch, this evolutionary chasm is what's triggering genetic predispositions, because our genetics haven't changed in 10,000 years. So a lot of the things, like you said, like breath work, getting out in nature, grounding, is decreasing that mismatch between our DNA and the world around us. And fasting is another way that we can do that, because fasting's been a part of human history for the beginning of time because of food scarcity, and even intentionally. You look at every society around the globe, they intentionally use periods of fasting for medicinal purposes and also spiritual, meditative purposes as well. You look around the world in Eastern religions, in Judaism with Yom Kippur and Tish B'Av, and Islam with Ramadan, Christianity with Lent, all intentionally used fasting for medicinal and meditative benefits. So Paracelsus was known as the father of toxicology. He was in Switzerland in the late 1400s, early 1500s. He called fasting the physician within, which I think is a beautiful way of putting it. It's tapping into this inner doctor that you said. I love the way you said it. Like, people, let's avoid being patients. Let's be our own physician and tap into our body's inner physician. And fasting is a great way to do that.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the very few proven anti-aging methods, calorie restriction. And I always think that the fasting in the evening makes the most sense, but these days people tend to fast in the morning, so they have their social dinner, whatever, and then they skip their breakfast and start eating at lunch again. And if you stop eating at 4 p.m. or something, what is going to happen, that your body, instead of digestion, the dinner from the night, actually is going to go into rejuvenation mode. And you activate your telomerase, you activate your growth hormones, you activate a lot of rejuvenation processes. So what do you recommend as a method of intermittent fasting? What is the preferred way to do it?
So my third book was called Intuitive Fasting. And that's really my message around this conversation, is for people to check in with their body. This is the heart of what our work is in functional medicine. It's bioindividuality. So there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach to something like fasting. It's a hormetic effect on the body. That term hormesis, a hormetic effect, is a good stressor, just like high-intensity interval training or cold plunging. Everybody you see on social media doing cold therapy, cryotherapy, cold plunging, or even sauna is a hormetic effect. And fasting is as well. So these are good stressors, but the dose matters. And who you are, how much you're doing it, and how you're doing it matters. So it's really sort of the science and art of something like intermittent fasting to kind of check in with your body. So these are some pro tips, but ultimately you have to explore and experiment with these things and see how your body feels. If you want a guide for this stuff, you check out intuitive fasting. But the reason why, and thank you so much, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, for asking me to be a part of the intermittent fasting supplement set, because I know if people lean into what's in the set, it will enhance the benefits of fasting. So, I mean, for everybody that's new to this, like what I meant by Paracelsus, this father of toxicology in Switzerland, when he called fasting the physician within, what research is showing and substantiating with good old Paracelsus, what he said in Switzerland in the 1500s, was that we are allowing the body to upregulate these pathways that are dampened and dormant, or that are functioning but are a bit sluggish because of this epigenetic genetic mismatch. So by giving your body, like Dr. Sturm says, giving your body a break, even by allowing a bigger window after dinner, is one way you're fasting through the night, from in the evening through the night until you break the fast at breakfast the next morning. It's allowing these inner physician pathways, these autophagy pathways, which, breaking that word down, autophagy. Autophagy is cellular recycling. It's self-eating. It's all your good cells gobbling up and helping to to recycle the dysfunctional cells or the diseased cells, the disordered cells. So it's your anti-accelerated aging pathway. Anybody that's interested in longevity, slowing down the aging process, supporting youthful mechanisms, intermittent fasting, you have to look at the science around intermittent fasting because it's profoundly beneficial at enhancing these pathways. It increases mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are a cellular energy factory. So anybody that's struggling with any chronic inflammatory problem, typically it in part involves inflammation, but also mitochondrial dysfunction. So it can improve mitochondria, which helps with brain function and longevity, but it also lowers these inflammation pathways. So much of both of your and I's mission here is to bringing in an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And intermittent fasting, the study around its ability to lower inflammation is so exciting. So these pro-inflammatory pathways like NF-kappa B or the NLRP3 inflammasome, these are pro-inflammatory cytokines that are high in a lot of us living in this modern world with this epigenetic genetic mismatch. Well, it's this inner physician that we can tap into to lower inflammation levels, which is great for pretty much every chronic health problem has inflammation as a commonality.
Maybe you should explain inflammation a little bit just for everyone. You know, we always talk about the things like, oh yeah, it's just what it is. But you do it.
Yeah, so inflammation's not inherently bad, right? It's a product of the immune system. So what we're talking about when we talk about an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, it's anti-chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is this forest fire that burns in perpetuity. That is associated with autoimmune conditions, metabolic issues, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, trouble losing weight, digestive problems, musculoskeletal,
aging.
If you look at accelerated aging, which the modern Westerner is aging faster than they need to, that is an inflammatory process. And many people will think, well, I'm just getting older, and they sort of gaslight themselves into thinking these symptoms that they're struggling with is just a product of aging. It's a product of accelerated aging. And it's shown statistically that the majority of the West is somewhere on this insulin resistance spectrum, which accelerates aging. A hallmark of insulin resistance is chronic inflammation. So we need to calm this forest fire, and what we eat impacts it. Looking at stress levels, like Dr. Sturm talked about, breath work, but also fasting is another way to have agency over your health to calm inflammation and slow down accelerated aging. So time compressed feeding, time restricted feeding is typically how I recommend people to do fasting. So to answer your question, it is not cutting calories. You're getting your calories in your day, but you're doing it in specific windows. There are different types of fasting. Like for telehealth patients, we will do, if it's clinically appropriate, longer water fasts, etc. There are times for other types of fasting. But what I love about time-restricted feeding is it's something that anybody can do in their day, and it's not about cutting calories. You're just eating in specific windows. So I actually agree with you. I think one way to do it, and most people are skipping breakfast, which I do that as well, but there is a compelling research to say have breakfast, but just end your last meal earlier in the day to extend that fasting.
You switch it, you do the breakfast fasting, and maybe one day you just do it in the evenings, just do the dinner canceling when it fits in your schedule and you don't have social dinners. But what I wanted to say, I got so much feedback about the supplements because lots of people, when they fast, they kind of felt weak, they felt low on energy, they felt like tired. And so when they started using the supplements, it just totally changed it around for them, because what we do when we fast, obviously we not only deplete our body from food, but also from minerals, from electrolytes, from trace elements, from vitamins. And so we just have this concept of supplements and electrolytes here together. Will and I, we just worked on it for quite some time. It took us some time actually. So, but this is a super good combination of, you start in the morning on an empty stomach with electrolytes. So before you even eat anything, this is a powder, you mix in water, you drink. And then also in the morning, you add like the minerals and the trace elements And then when you break the fast, you have your omega-3 fatty acid, and then at night you have the magnesium. So you're really well. I mean, like, just add what you want to add to this, but this is like a really good combination.
Sure.
Not just if you fast, also if you don't fast, you can use it, by the way.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. So we put this together for people's intermittent fasting needs because it's a part of an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. But as we were developing it, conversations that we would have was that, look, these are things that I see needed for anybody. So if you're doing a day where you're not intermittent fasting, so for many people that have a menstrual cycle, I recommend doing cyclical fasting. Even if you're not having a menstrual cycle, I think from a flexibility and a grace and a lightness to not be super restrictive, to allow that ebb and flow. And it's sort of, think of fasting like a proverbial yoga class for your metabolism. Most people are metabolically inflexible. So my hamstrings are pretty tight. I'll just call myself out. If I go to a yoga class, I'm not going to be the best at yoga because my hamstrings are tight. So I don't want to say, well, yoga's not for me, right? It's not yoga's fault. It's my tight hamstrings. And it's something that I need to gain in flexibility. So most people, when they say, well, fasting's not for me, well, they're not good at it because they're not metabolically flexible. So you have to start off low and slow and expand and contract it to become more flexible so you can get these anti-inflammatory, anti-accelerated aging, and just brain boosting, energy boosting benefits. And I will say that the intermittent fasting supplement set will make your fast a lot easier, and not only make it easier, but enhance the benefits of it. So because you'll be able to fast a little bit longer, it'll be more enjoyable. You'll want to keep doing it because it's more enjoyable. Because what we've done with the supplement set is it's filling in the gaps of what makes fasting more difficult for some people.
Yeah, so, you feel much better with the supplements doing that.
Exactly. So the supplements in the set, like Dr. Sturm said, they are electrolytes. That's things like sodium, potassium, magnesium. We are losing that whenever we're intermittent fasting. So because as we lose inflammation, what's happening is can also releasing sodium, potassium, magnesium, which is a good thing, but we need to replenish that. So we're replenishing what we're losing through losing inflammation. And part of that too is, and I see this with patients all the time, even if they're not fasting, if you are cutting processed foods from your life, but you're not fasting, it's just you're cutting lots of packaged, processed junk foods that don't love you back. A lot of these foods are higher in sodium. So the solution isn't to eat the foods that don't love you back that are processed with tons of sodium. No, it's to replenish with good sodium in the form of electrolytes like we put in the supplement set. So many people, when they go off of all the processed foods, they feel like detoxy or, Herxheimer responses, or they'll feel more lethargic. Well, it's because their electrolytes are off. So the solution is just replenish what you've lost because you're lowering inflammation by bringing electrolytes up. Then we have the vitamins, which are good for anybody, whether you're fasting or not, but will fuel your body, fuel your cells whenever you are fasting. And the trace elements, same. These minerals are very important for biochemical processes in the body. Omega-3 fatty acid, which is a vegan one as well for people that are wondering. It's great for cognition, heart health, brain health, cellular health. And then we have an evening magnesium for the evening, because some people, when they're fasting, they will have trouble winding down in the evening, and the magnesium will solve that problem. So that's
you're a little tired.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm using it. I don't fast every day. I just do it sometimes, but I really use the supplements on a regular basis. So I feel more energy with it. And, I eat very, very healthy, and I cut out all of that processed food if I can. So it's very minimized, but I still feel to, replenish with those supplements. And, we don't only have these supplements. I'm also using the super anti-aging one, which is telomerase activating. anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, internally hydrating. That's one everybody I think should have twice, 2 pills a day, the super anti-aging one. And the skin recovery, which is super anti-inflammatory. I think we all experience sometimes more, sometimes less inflammation. We kind of feel it, you know, when you're stressed. So you know your cortisol is rising, and you know there's more inflammation. You feel like, you know, anxiety, and you can't sleep, and you know, then the skin recovery is just like really good to bring inflammation levels down. And it's all herbal, it's all vegan, it all comes from nature. Nothing is making you addictive or anything. So it's really like support from nature, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have a whole supplement battery. So I don't want to bore everyone with all my supplements, but I wanted to ask you for your skincare routine, because that is also something, you know, I've known Will for quite some time, and I think you immediately started a skincare routine, and you were just such a fan, and just like, oh my God, changed my skin. I get compliments for my skin, and you are a pro when it comes to skincare routine now. So maybe you want
because of you. Yeah, so I'll share my Dr. Sturm approved skincare. And if guys, whoever's watching this live or on replay, if you've not made it to one of Dr. Sturm's physical locations,
you just went. Yeah.
Just went. I took my son Solomon, who, like, I'm such a blessed dad to have a 16-year-old son that wants to go get facials with me. So
I love it. Awesome.
I mean, the team is so kind. At all the locations I've been to the West Hollywood one, the New York one, all Texas, right? You have one in Dallas, right?
Yeah. In Highland Park. It's beautiful.
Yeah, which is the oldest outdoor mall in the country. Did you know that?
I love Highland Park Village. It's so great.
Yeah, it's great.
I love Dallas anyway.
So go to the physical locations, everybody, because it's an experience, because you can bring all this stuff that you're seeing online to life, and you can get it from a pro. You can get facialists to do it properly. It's an educational experience for somebody that isn't in skincare. What I do is I will do the foaming cleanser every day, morning and evening, the Dr. Sturm cleanser. About 3 times a week. I do it a little bit more. I don't know if this is approved by Dr. Sturm. She can yell at me, but I'll do the enzyme cleanser more than this. But I tend to have more oily skin, and I really love the enzyme cleanser because it's not strong. It's not like
so many people do it. They use it every day. Dr. Sturm, can I use this every day? Yeah, but it agrees with your skin. It's the most gentle form of exfoliation, so it's not going to hurt your skin. But yeah, go ahead.
I love it. So I will use the super anti-aging serum in the morning, and then after that, I will have the vitamin C and kind of mix that together.
Great.
And the summertime, I will typically do the calming serum after that. So I start with the clear stuff, and then I do the lipid-based serum.
You're such a pro.
I've learned from the best. And then I'll show you what I do in the middle of the day. Sorry. I'm consulting patients during the day. I will either have the anti-pollution drops in between consulting patients, or the...
Yeah, so nice.
Or
the face mist when it's hot outside. Oh my God, it's so hot in Germany. It's just the face mist.
Yeah.
The hyaluronic face mist. Super nice.
And then in the evening, I do the same thing. It's a cleanser. I'll do the night serum. And then I have the super anti-aging night cream in the evening. And that's it.
Oh my God, the night cream. Can we talk about the night cream for a sec?
Yeah,
you use the night cream. Oh my God, that is amazing. I love that you're using the night cream. It's literally one of my favorite products, and I don't even talk enough about it. I tell you, which is super interesting. You know, like all our organs go through a day and night rhythm. So does our skin. And our pituitary gland tells us that now is night, now is day, now is night, now is day. But we also have sensors on our skin, which sometimes tell us something different. So when we sit in bed and we look at our iPad, you know, we get told it's night, but then our sensors on our skin tell us, oh my God, it's day. So the skin actually during day has a lot of protection functions, whereas at night it rejuvenates, the skin becomes more permeable, water leaves the skin, unfortunately, but also, you know, we go in production of the defense mechanisms we need throughout the day, which is quite interesting. So we shouldn't confuse our skin, number one. Number two, this night cream has ingredients, and one of the most amazing ingredients is called polyglutamic acid, and it's actually more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. The only thing is it doesn't go deep, so it just sits on top. So when you add this cream, you feel like it sits a little on top for a moment. But what it does is polyglutamic acid, which is a lot of in there, basically prevents the skin from the transepidermal water loss, which is what ages us. So when the skin becomes more permeable at night, water leaves the skin, which is not good. We need to keep the hydration in. So the polyglutamic acid locks the hydration into the skin. Number one. Number two, it fills in fine lines and wrinkles. So when you use the night cream, you wake up next morning, you're like, oh my God, your skin looks so freaking good. This is one of the ingredients I love. Then avocado peptide, which helps to enhance the production of our hyaluronic acid. And then we have the ingredients which, we support the production of the protection ingredients complexes for throughout the day. So at night we get prepared already for throughout the day. And this night cream, that's why I'm so obsessed now, because I always used to say, oh, I use the same cream at night, in the morning. No, you should switch to the night cream. And you know what I now do? I use my blood cream first and then I put the night cream on top. It's just so genius. And once you try it, you become extremely addicted. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I love it. I noticed the same thing. It's a lot more hydrating. You wake up, your skin's a lot more healed because it's able to heal through the night and also calm down and be nourished through the night. So the skin barrier, skin microbiome will love it. I love the science behind it. Very impressive. And what I wanted to piggyback off of what you just said is with the fasting, what's happening from the inside out. And for everybody that's watching this, what we're talking about is supporting your skin from the outside in and then the inside out. Both sides matter. A both and approach to skincare will get you the best results. And when we're talking about skin hydration and cellular health, what's happening from a fasting standpoint, I can't tell you how many inflammatory skin problems or accelerated aging skin problems improve dramatically whenever people do eat foods that are nourishing and love them back, that are anti-inflammatory, but also implement some intermittent fasting. And electrolytes specifically, the electrolytes in the intermittent fasting supplements that will actually tell, electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, tell water where to go. So if your skin's dehydrated or, inflamed, the hydration, the calming mechanisms electrolytes will tell it where to go. So you're actually fueling your body with the raw materials it needs to repair the skin from the inside out. So both sides, the outside in and the inside out, are really important for skincare.
And hydration is not being underestimated, because if you have dry skin or dehydrated skin, you have to fix it. This will age your skin tremendously. Not just age, there will be all kinds of problems coming with dehydration and dry skin. So one of the most important hydrators are hyaluronic serum. So like the super anti-aging serum or the night serum, for example, or the hyaluronic serum. These are extreme hydrators, and they have to be used every morning, every night. This is the white t-shirt of your skincare routine. You take half a pipette and you add it to your skin. It's the first step of your skincare routine after cleansing your skin, and that needs to be done morning and night. So hydration is important, and hyaluronic acid is being clinically proven to improve skin barrier function as well. And let's quickly talk about these quick fixes, because you say it needs to love you back. And I think sometimes we talk about anti-inflammation, we talk about all these great things to improve our health, not just for our skin, but our overall health. And then we look into what skincare sometimes can be quite aggressive to our skin. And, there are, we're talking about quick fix. Oh, we have pigmentation. Let's do an acid peel. Let's do a laser. Let's do a glycolic. Let's use retinol for anti-aging. But, what we do actually with those ingredients, we cause a lot of inflammation on our skin. We destruct our microbiome. We destruct our skin barrier. We're making our skin extra vulnerable and basically bring the future closer to us. So we borrow healing factors already from the future, and we bring the future closer to us. This is where I compare with your love you back, because, don't we want our skin we have to be the best possible, strengthen the microbiome, the mitochondria, the skin barrier, making this organ skin the best organ it could be. So it's young, it's refreshed, it's dewy, it's beautiful, it's glowy, whatever we want it to be. But if we make it sick by causing inflammation with all these like aggressive ingredients and basically bringing the future closer, making our problems even worse. So when I see patients sometimes and I see, oh, they all have pigmentation, then I already know what they're using. And I said, since when do you have pigmentation? Ever since I used that product. Yeah, you use retinol, you get pigmentation. Yeah, because you make your skin vulnerable. And people don't forget, the sun is one target, one stressor which penetrates our skin. And okay, you can say, okay, I use sunscreen every day and night. But there's HEV light, there's pollution, there are so many stresses. We don't really have the defense, unless you use the anti-pollution drops. Maybe you build a shield to block out pollutants, you block out the HEV light. But there's so many stresses which can cause this pigmentation issue, yeah? And don't only cause pigmentation, you cause dryness, you cause irritations, you cause sensitive skin. You have all of a sudden so many problems with your skin because you think you can fix something or you can do anti-aging. You also have to always activate healing factors if you damage your skin. If you burn your skin once, okay, it all heals back, we are very good in healing. But if you do it again and again and again and again and again, then you run the risk of depleting your healing factors. Your skin becomes thinner, you age faster, you borrow from the future, and you bring the future closer. So I always like to talk about these myths in the anti-aging skincare world. Because that's definitely not what we want. And, also this sunscreen obsession when we do retinol, there's only one vitamin in our body we produce ourselves, which is vitamin D. And every cell, every tissue, we have receptors everywhere for vitamin D3. So how important do we think this vitamin is? And this vitamin gets produced by the, by the presence of daylight. So we cannot exclude ourselves from the sun. Do we need to sit in the midday sun? No. But can we catch the sun in the morning, early night? I think that is something we should, because, vitamin D gets produced with the sunlight and cholesterol. So we need to, and we can, if you have high cholesterol, go in the sun, you produce vitamin D3 and you lower your, we can talk about this stuff. Maybe we should answer some questions. Do you have a thought about this, by the way? I'm curious what you think about this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, people need to use the sunscreen. I use the sun drops on my skin, but not be overly fearful of the sun. You need healthy amounts of the sun. You don't want to burn. That's the goal. So depending on your health history, family history, where you live in the world, like how much direct sunlight you're getting, how close you are to the equator, these are variables to consider. But yes, vitamin D deficiency is something that I see on a daily basis for new patients, and it's not good.
How many percentage? What's the percentage of vitamin D deficient?
95% plus. And if somebody's supplementing, right? If somebody's supplementing, typically that's the only people that are good, because they're not getting healthy amounts of sunlight. People aren't outside. Again, we evolved as a species to be outside. So supplementation makes sense. Some foods have some vitamin D, but it's the sunshine vitamin. You ultimately need to get some healthy amounts of sunlight. Eat some foods like mushrooms, fatty fish have some vitamin D, but it's primarily going to be from the sunlight.
I use vitamin D and D plus K. So I think the combination of these two is also important for the, the supplementation into your system.
Yeah, I agree with that. And vitamin K2 is another fat soluble vitamin along with vitamin D3 that is low in a lot of people. And it's needed for inflammation. Like you said, every cell of your body has a vitamin D receptor site, which is responsible for thousands of pathways in the body. But mainly, just to drive it home, it's beyond the immune system. People know that, but it's regulating inflammation, which is a product of the immune system. And even from a mood standpoint, your brain is rich with
mental health, bones, your joints, your respiratory tract. Every organ has receptors for vitamin D3.
Yeah, it is. It's true. And it's a way to lower inflammation levels in the body. So I agree with you.
Should we answer some questions? Is anybody out there who wants to come on camera?
We have Amanda ready to come on camera with her question. So Amanda, if you could unmute and put your camera on, we're ready for you.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Oh, hi.
Hello. I use all of your skincare, and if I showed you my bathroom, I'm sure you'd love it.
I see your skin, so I believe you.
I just did my morning skincare, my mask last night, so I'm feeling very, very hydrated. And my backup skin drawer, which always makes me happy. We always have to have backup Sturm. I have my dedicated drawer.
I love it.
So I'm one of those people who live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, or I try to the best of my ability in the environment I'm in. And I only use your skincare. Like, I don't put anything else on my face. I don't go to any other spas. I fly to New York or LA or Dallas,
You're amazing. You're smart.
I don't want anything else on my face. But one thing that, since we have two anti-inflammatory specialists, you and Dr. Cole on the line, what tips do you have for reducing CRP and cortisol? Unfortunately, I'm dealing with mycotoxin infection and probably some other unfortunate things. And it's like my cortisol is at a 35, and I've been on cortisol supplements for 15 months.
Oh, wow.
Insane, and I'm not overweight, and I go down to Pike Place Market in Seattle and get my produce fresh and organic, and it's do deep breathing by Wim Hof and use your skincare. And I feel like there's something that I'm missing, and maybe it's fasting, as you guys had mentioned, or something else.
Okay, well, it's your turn here.
I will go with this. So we deal a lot with mycotoxicity clinically. It's one of our top patient base, and that can trigger inflammation, autoimmune issues in some people, chronic fatigue syndrome in other people. So what I know about what you're telling me about the case makes sense. You keep doing the things you're doing, because things would be far worse off if you weren't doing things you're doing. Labs are helpful. It sounds like you got some labs done to know the mycotoxicity.
Our blood tests then.
So looking at the mycotoxins to get a baseline to see who's improved. For people that are newer to this conversation, mycotoxins are mold toxins. Mold is everywhere. You don't have to be fearful of mold. Not all mold is toxic. There are toxic mold, and some people are more sensitive to mold than others. So people that are explaining what Amanda's saying here, they typically have, not everybody, but typically have what are called HLA gene variants, which are human leukocyte antigen variants that on a bioindividuality basis makes their body more sensitive to biotoxins. That, and Dr. Sturm mentioned about methylation earlier. Some people have methylation gene variants like the MTHFR gene and other ones that make their body more sensitive to these toxins. So this combination of genetics and epigenetics. Anyways, C-reactive protein is a symptom of the mycotoxins or any other biotoxin that may be at play here. So you have to deal with the mycotoxins to calm hsCRP down. And same with cortisol. Cortisol is an endogenous immunosuppressant. So it's actually a natural anti-inflammatory. So seeing cortisol being elevated in an inflammatory state is what your body was designed to do. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. So you have to allow your body to know that the threat is gone so cortisol can calm down. And same with hsCRP will calm down because it's a surrogate lab for different interleukins. So labs, health history, like we would build a protocol based on your case, but generally speaking, if you want some like action steps, glutathione, which some Dr. Sturm's products have glutathione in
Yeah,
it.
the super anti-aging supplement has glutathione and the super anti-aging serum, but the supplement, the super anti-aging ones.
Maybe some that plus some added glutathione specifically.
Maybe like an IV drip or something.
Yep. CoQ10 mitochondrial support can be helpful here. Binders can be very helpful if you're not doing like an activated charcoal, bentonite clay, diatomaceous earth. I mean, there's medications like cholestyramine that can be used, prescribed by a doctor. And biofilm disruptors. So things like serrapeptase, even stevia, which is stevia, the sweetener, acts as a mild biofilm disruptor too. So these are things therapeutically we would build for a time, but those are some tips.
You guys should connect, actually. You should have a proper session.
Yeah, I'll probably have a proper session. It's like, there's so many nasty things in our environment. We all do so much to stay healthy. And as you mentioned, connect with nature and deep breathe and and fast. And it's kind of, what are those things that everyone should be doing to live that healthy lifestyle that just benefits you all the time? But yes, I will have to give you a call. I will have to call your practice.
Yeah, I think
fasting will help with this too. Fasting is a great way because it increases autophagy and improves mitochondrial function. So anybody that's exposed to mold, fasting is a great tool within the toolbox potentially. And sweating, two other things. Sweating comes to mind too, like adding sweating.
Sauna.
Sauna and
breathing always helps. Breathing techniques to alkaline your body for sure. Getting oxygen going, that's definitely anti-inflammatory. Earthing if you can.
Yeah, and removing the source of the mold, obviously. So get proper air purifiers in the home. It's really important too.
Okay.
Do you work with PMF meds, Will?
Yeah, I love PMF. PMF's a great way to lower inflammation.
Thank you.
You know what? Let's get your email and we connect you. But also, you know, if you want to have like another session with me or something, I can also. I'm available. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You were both so kind.
No, so nice to meet you, Amanda. And we get that sorted. We need to get this sorted.
Yes, 15 months of it hasn't been fun, so it's trial and error, but we're getting there.
We get.
Thank you.
Big kiss.
We've got another question. How does gut health affect the skin?
Okay, Will, you go ahead.
Well, your skin can be, remember we talked about inside out, outside in. We have to support our skin barrier on the outside with Dr. Sturm's products because it's protecting the barrier, it's restoring the barrier, it's nourishing the barrier, but it also can be a reflection of things from the inside out. So bacterial overgrowths, yeast and fungal overgrowths, inflammation in the gut, intestinal permeability increase, or what they call leaky gut syndrome, all are associated in the scientific literature with skin problems as well. So that's why inside out, outside in is so important here. Fasting, not to bring it back to fasting, but if you're looking at one tool, that physician within, fasting has been shown to lower gut inflammation and actually, in a way, prune the microbiome. So a lot of people that have these bacterial overgrowths, yeast and fungal overgrowths that's impacting the skin, we have what's called the gut-skin axis, or the connection between the gut and the skin. It's a reset of that circadian rhythm of the microbiome. I talk about the study in intuitive fasting. So there's bacterial overgrowths, or people that have IBS or chronic constipation, or it's looser stools or bloating, SIBO, things like this. Fasting can be a great way to reset and support microbiome balance. Not that fasting would be the only tool for people that have more severe cases, but it is one tool within the toolbox.
Another question, Dr. Sturm, what do you eat for each meal? Are you a vegetarian?
I've been a vegetarian ever since I'm 16 years old, and just because at the time I didn't like to eat meat anymore. And so that never changed. I still eat fish. I sometimes also now started eating chicken again. I got married to an American, so in America you have chicken everywhere. So that's why I started eating chicken. But, I start my day, if I have breakfast, I have a bircher muesli, which our recipe is on our website. You can look it up. It's the best bircher muesli out there. I really know how to do it, how to make it. And for lunch, I always like to have like a salad with whatever I find, if it's avocado or, feta cheese or, how do you say this? Pine nuts, so whatever it is, cranberries. I mean, like I like a fresh, beautiful salad, quinoa. And then at night, I try to eat something light, whether it's fish or, like some kind of protein. And, I like rice a lot. I like curries. I'm not so big on pasta and don't like pasta so much for some reason. But rice, I eat a lot of rice, a lot of Thai food. Yeah.
On inflammation. So can you have too much inflammation in your body without knowing about it? What are some of the key signs and how does it manifest on the skin?
Okay, Will, that's for you. Okay,
so inflammation is a commonality between pretty much every health issue. So, but it exists on a spectrum, right? It can be mild symptoms all the way to extreme. And this is not about putting fear into anybody, just so you know, like these things are largely supportable, healable, reversible, overcomable things. That's what we're talking about. This is just about empowering you to learn about your body, to optimize how you're feeling. And when it's needed, talk with your doctor and make sure these conversations are happening, because many people wait too long and not talk with their doctor. So, but I would say if you're looking at mild symptoms that can be a sign, a check engine light, that inflammation levels could be higher, that you want to do things to calm it, would be, I would say fatigue is up there. Fatigue, like lulls in energy, trouble losing weight. Look at your hair, your skin, and your nails can oftentimes be check engine light that there's some inflammatory process going on. Digestive problems are another common inflammation issues. And I said fatigue, brain fog's part of that. Even anxiety and depression. There's a field of research called the cytokine model of cognitive function. Cytokines are pro-inflammatory cells. So it's researchers looking at how inflammation is impacted in things like anxiety and depression. So it's neuroinflammation. So that's the most common causes of inflammation. And yeah, you can have lower levels of these issues that are like background. You're still living your life, you're still going to work, you're still doing all the things that you do, but you know you're not living, like you're not thriving, and you know intuitively, you know your body. So don't gaslight yourself. Don't let other people gaslight you. You know your body, and you can do something about these things. Another question, what can be used instead of retinol on the skin?
Okay, so I'm not a fan of retinol. I know it's great sometimes if you have cystic acne. This is an exception that you go to your doctor, you use it for like 2-3 months, and then this will help you. But in general, for anti-aging method, I would never aggressively target your skin. I would always go and heal and repair the skin. And what I started making is the exosomatic. Exosomes are little communication tools between cells. They're very, very small. They're only the size of a virus. That's 1/800th of a cell. So they're very small. They travel from one cell to the other. They do communication. Cells live in community, so they need to communicate about tissue repair, etc., etc. These exosomes also carry mRNA, DNA, peptides. They're doing cell repair. They're doing shortcuts to healthy cell divisions. This is a serum with exosomes and growth factors. So we're bringing healing support into the skin to make your cells, your tissue, your everything in your skin. We upgraded it again. We restructure it. It helps with aging tremendously, but also with, any form of repair. So if you use retinol, glycolic, or all those things, you need to have healing support. I would use that for sure, but I'll use it instead. And I think that's the newest innovation on the skincare horizon, exosomes in skincare. I would look out for this. We are the only brand who makes it. So it's made by Sturm. I know other brands are working on this because it's so good. We have an eye serum and a face serum. This is how I use it. I use my super anti-aging serum first, my first step. Then I use my exosomatic, and I also love the Beta B. I put the Beta B on, and then my face cream, sun drops, and I'm ready to go. So instead of retinol, use the exosomatic. You find this also on the website. We also launched it with Net-a-Porter and Niche Beauty for now. And it's in all our spas. You even can get an exosomatic facial that's microneedling the exosomes really into the skin. Also something, if you are close to our spas, something you should do for sure once a month.
We have one more person who would like to ask a question on camera. So Rustu, if you can reveal yourself, put your camera on and unmute. Hi.
We can hear you. I can't see you yet.
Okay, well, whilst we're waiting for Rustu to join, we can ask another question. Are there any certain vitamins you recommend taking internally for beautiful skin?
I mean, we have a whole line of supplements. So definitely I would use the super anti-aging supplement. I would definitely use the skin recovery supplement. And then if you live in the city, we have something called protection supplement with adaptogens, ginseng, vitamin E. It's good for the immune system and for stressful situations. So if you're stressed, that's something I would use. We have something for sun allergy and sun protection. It's called Sunskin. Also gives you like a sun-kissed look throughout the year, so you can use that throughout the year. We have an anti-pigmentation supplement. So if you suffer of melasma pigmentation, this is something I would recommend. It helps from the inside to loosen the agglomeration of the yellow and dark spots. And then, well, what else? I mean, I'm taking a multivitamin by 10x Health. I don't know which multivitamin you use. I'm taking the D and the K. I'm taking DHEA. I don't know what you else would recommend for an everyday use.
I think all of those things that you said are great foundational things. They're the things I see deficient in most people. The most supportive is just like a foundational, essential tools and toolbox. That's kind of what I was wanting people to really know about this. The vitamin and the trace mineral and the electrolyte and the omega combinations in the intermittent fasting supplement set has all of that. So these essentials that you're talking about, you really fill in the gaps. Yeah, so you really can just get that, and it really is, it's supportive. It's even more supportive when you are fasting, but just foundationally filling in the gaps here with the supplements here are great. Remember, food is first. Like, you want to start with foods that love you back, but fill in the gaps with these supplements will really be a game changer for you.
Okay, we've got Risto on the line now, so go ahead, Risto.
Hi, Dr. Barbara Sturm. How are you?
Good. Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yeah. I hope I can meet you in London because I am studying in the UK, but originally I am from Turkey. And my mother also very likes you because we are using your product because molecular cosmetic. And also in my student accommodation Vita, every month you giving some Lamer events, and I used it one time some products for my face because I am using on your anti-hair fall shampoo, anti-hair fall scalp serum, supplement, anti-aging body cream. I ordered actually new one and this will be delivered today from Düsseldorf. yeah. And I give it my some samples and some gifts. Thank you for this. Also, you are very generous person, not stingy. Anyway,
I hope so.
yeah. Anyway, my skin quickly in the 3 days, acne will come back if I use any oily product. My skin is very sensitive about this. Yes. And also I used it totally 1 year, Roacutan, 20 milligram.
Yes. So, you know, the problem with the oils, if you use oils on the skin, you know, it, messes with your sebum production, and it actually, increases for some reason your sebum production. And then this can, oxidate with dead skin cells and, can cause a lot of breakouts, blackheads, cystic acne. Do you use the enzyme cleanser?
No, I don't say advising.
No, that would be a great product for an exfoliation, and help to get the oiliness away from the skin, control sebum production. I would do that. I would also use the Beta B, which also controls sebum production and keeps our pores small.
Enzyme cleanser.
The enzyme cleanser and the Beta B. And if you have these breakouts, I created a clarifying line, and this clarifying line, there's a face mask you could use, 2 times a week for 20 minutes. Leave it on the areas where you have the breakouts, and then wash it off. You could also use the clarifying face cream. Another product I think is really amazing for breakouts is the ultimate stinky pimple cream. It really helps to heal up the spots, and you can use it overnight or just put it on the spots. It stinks a little bit, but only for a second, but use it on your spots. You can also do it like on all kinds of areas. So everything is very, very gentle, hydrating, helps your skin. So oils you shouldn't use. Hydration is the most important part of your skincare routine. You know, oils tend to actually dry out your skin. Yeah. So please not use oils. Hydration, like the hyaluronic serum. I don't know, do you use the hyaluronic serum or the clarifying one of our hyaluronic serum?
Actually, if I talk, because I want to talk clearly, I am now using some La Mer foam clean, and also cream de la Mer, but soft cream. I am not never using still your face. I am just using your hair and body products.
Oh, so you should, you know what? Are you in London?
Yeah, no, I am actually, I am studying in Birmingham, University of Birmingham.
Yeah, it would be so great if you could come to the London spa one day, get a facial.
I am every month coming to London for Harrods. I am getting something from Harrods every month, but I am going also in this weekend to London. When I am going, I am always staying one night in the hotel.
Yeah,
I want to. When I go to your spa, I want to learn your PRP system.
Yeah, I invented that. So I would really like for you to go and get a facial, get a proper skincare routine. Also, my team will send you like a little proposed skincare routine, so how you can start. That would be a game changer for you.
Because also I just want to lastly learn about your PRP. Because I know in your spa this is possible, and also I know one cream, M1 probably, more than 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's the blood cream. So you give your blood, we process it in a certain way. We create anti-inflammatory proteins and growth factors and add those to a cream. And that's an amazing cream. The creams are freshly made. They're super, super anti-inflammatory, hydrating. They help with, that's my preferred cream of all, the blood cream. And the vampire facial is basically how I started in the aesthetics. I come from the orthopedic background, and I help pioneering a treatment where you take the blood from a patient, process it in a certain way, create these anti-inflammatory proteins, and re-inject those into the joints. And I started injecting it into the skin. This is how the vampire facial got started by me like 20 years ago, if you guys can believe it. So now we lost Risto, but
I think you have to wrap it here for today, but just so everyone knows, you will all receive a 20% code via email, and the gifting for today is a selection of our tryout super anti-aging. So you're going to get a serum, face cream, eye cream, neck and décolleté.
We are not stingy at all. We are not stingy at all. But you guys, if you go shopping today, get the night cream. That is a good purchase. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and wisdom and knowledge. And I always learn from you. And you're amazing. You're my friend. And thank you everybody for joining today. We will be back soon, and probably also back with Will very, very soon.
Anytime. I'll make time for you. Thank you, my friend. Thanks everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Big kiss. Bye guys. See you soon.